it's Liz Yuille from Old Stables Crafts. Thank you very much for joining me again today. You may have seen my video earlier where I made this card that was cased from the catalogue and was using the You Can Make It bundle. Well, I've taken this idea and I've stepped it up a bit. I have introduced more products, but that's kind of where this all came from. So we've got the Making Christmas Bright stamp set. If you want the punch that goes with it, that then becomes the Making Christmas Bright bundle, and you get a 10% discount. So if you buy those two together, then you get a 10% discount off the total cost, which is always good to remember. If you see anything that has a bundle price next to it, it means you get a discount. The stamp also works with the Making Everyday Bright stamp set, and this covers pretty much every occasion you could want, because we've got Valentine's, we've got spring, summer, we've got winter, we've got Easter, we've got feathers, which are kind of every day, we've got a little penguin, we've got pine cones, we've got Christmas baubles, we've got Halloween, we've got an Easter bunny, and then we've got this little, it's actually a petal, so you can punch lots of these and you can make up a flower. And then we've got additional bits that go with, so this is with the bunny, this is with the penguin, you've got extra little bits up here, and some strings, etc, etc. And I'm going to use particularly this string on our project today. So I've got a piece of cardstock which is cut at 4 3/4 by 3 1/4. The dimensions will be on the blog post, which is immediately below, so don't worry about writing anything down. This fits nicely on a note card, and this is the project we're going to make today. It's really cute. It's actually quite quick, although there's quite a lot of punching. Because it's a punch, and I've got a tip for punching, it's actually a really quick card to make. So let's get started. I've already mounted up from the Making Everyday Bright set this string, because I think this is really good for hanging straight bulbs from. There is a string in the Making Christmas Bright set which I used on the previous project, which is just a straight string, and obviously you can hang things from that as well, but I thought I would just introduce this as an alternative, because obviously you can have this instead of the Making Christmas Bright. You could get the Making Everyday Bright, but you wouldn't then get the bundle price on your punch. So all I'm going to do is stamp this sort of in the middle. I mean, I could get, you know, really excited about where the middle is, which is going to be, not there, it's going to be kind of in the middle there. So let's get excited about where the middle is and punch it towards the top in the middle. And then just ink it up again, and I'm just going to ink up one end and then the other end, and then I'm going to line up the last black blob on one string, on the string I've stamped, and then stamp to the left and right. So I've now got a continuous string. We're not going to hang anything from those other bits, but it just helps make the whole card look cohesive, because otherwise it's going to look a bit odd just having a string randomly in the middle of, you know, if we just had that, that would look kind of weird. So I told you I was going to give you a tip on how to use your punch, and this will be to line things up easily. So take your punch and a scrap of card, pop it in and punch, and then I just write on the top. In fact, let me find a scrap of card and show you rather than just explaining it. So this is far too large. This is a retired piece, I would hasten to add. So just take your stamp, your punch, put your card right into the punch and punch out. And that is then your template. And then you can, if you just cut the top off, because you don't need all of that, and then write on it. And I had a pen just now. I know I did because I just used it. Somewhere in here I have more pens. Let's find a pen. Here we go. Right, so write on this top So you then know that so long as that's the top and this is the bottom, you're going to be able to feed things into your puncher, and I will show you what I mean by that. So let us grab a piece of scrap card, and this is about as scrap as you can get. I generally start with the bulb because it's easier to stamp the bulb and then pop the, well, I'll show you, because otherwise what's the point in having a video? So let's open our Call Me Clover. Now the only thing I have to remember is that I need to leave room for my base. So if I come here, I know that if I go colour there, I'm going to have enough room for everything. So just stamp your bulb. Just clean that off quickly. And then this was, as I say, Call Me Clover. And now I've got Smoky Slate for the end. And this is the point where I bring in my template. There's no point in fiddling around trying to do everything through the template. Do one piece and then bring your template in, and you can then line that up to fit in your template. Then close that up, bring in your punch, and as if by magic it will line up. So you can then punch those bits out and they will punch out perfectly. So what I have done is, I'm looking for dimensionals, there we go. So dimensional on the back, then the tiniest bit of liquid adhesive, and I mean just a dot. Let me see if I can get that to, can you see? I've literally got the smallest little dot. And then I'm going to take my bulb end and I kind of move it around a bit just to spread the adhesive and then pinch it together, and there you've got your little light bulb. Now you could do this in just a coloured cardstock, you could do it in foil, so you don't have to punch the two bits together. If I was doing it in coloured cardstock or foil, I would cut a very narrow strip. So here's one narrow strip, and I would just feed it through and punch there, because otherwise you're going to punch that bit as well, but then you've got your punched image. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily use Call Me Clover, but as I say, if you're using foil, which would be lovely, either gold or silver, or maybe champagne, and then, yeah. So, the next thing to do is to grab the sentiment. So let's grab the sentiment, and a block. This would fit nicely on the D block, but I've already got something on the D block because I've got my string on the D block. So just for speed, rather than cleaning it off and starting again. So I'm just inking this up again in Memento. You could use any colour that you want. I just am sticking with Memento because it ties the string to the sentiment, so it kind of, again, gives a bit of cohesion. If you put too many colours in, it kind of, I don't know, you get a bit of overkill. So, for speed, I'm going to take the backings off my bulb all at once, or bulbs all at once, and I've already done the other ones, because you don't need to see me stamp 4 bulbs, because it's the same. Right, so the first one is Merry. So we pop that on, and then I need, oh, I can do these not in order, can't I? So then Bright, and the star at the end. This was really just so that I had an even number. There we go. And then let me grab another block, and I've got this. Now there are more of those in here, so we've got this and this, but I'm using the one that came with the Making Christmas Bright set, and I've got Pineapple Punch, and I'm just going to ink that up, and then just with everything in situ, I'm just going to stamp, because apart from the fact I've now over-inked my stamp. So long as you don't over-ink your stamp, you can stamp round your punched image, and that way it lines up perfectly. But do just be aware, you don't want to get ink on the base of your, on this part here, because that will then transfer onto your bulb. But it's fine, because it didn't. I've got a note card, and this is just one of our note cards and envelopes, which are pre-scored. They're perfect for mass production. So just burnish that down, grab our multi-purpose adhesive. You could use tear and tape, I would say snail, but those of you who know me know that I'm not a great fan of card to card with snail. And then just pop that down. Now, you could, if you wanted, cut mats to go round, or you could cut note card sized cards from coloured cardstock. You would end up with note cards left because you'd use the envelopes, but it's choice. So there you go. Isn't that just so cute? And relatively quick. It would be a really fun project maybe to get children involved in. If you did the punching, depends on the age of the child. They're not that stiff, but they do pinch if you get your little fingers in the way. So you may want to punch everything out, but everything else they could put together. And wouldn't that just be so fun? Particularly with the Making Everyday Bright set, because you could then make little cards that are not Christmas as well. So anyway, thank you very much indeed for watching today. I hope the tip about the punch was useful, and I will see you again very soon. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye!